So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are all doing well and staying at home. So today's session is going to be about review, units 7 and 8, textbook Gateway to English, level first year back. So the presentation here on the session is going to be presented by Abdulrazak Isho from Jarida High School, Aituri. Okay, so let's get started here. So the objectives of this session are the following. So we are going to review grammar and vocabulary and functions. So as for grammar here, we are going to review conditional type 2, reported speech, and phrasal verbs. For vocabulary and functions, we are going to review some vocabulary items related to the theme of the two units. Here the two units, I mean ecology, society and social problems. And the next one here, we are going to review the use of hopes and wishes and how to make suggestions. So these are the objectives here of this review session. Good? So let's get started here. So the first part here, it will be about grammar. So here in grammar, we are going to review conditional type 2, reported speech, and phrasal verbs. So let's start here by conditional type 2. Okay, so before we do the activities or the exercises, we are going to review the form and the use of conditional type 2. Okay, as you see here, so we have got two sentences. If Anna had time, she would visit her friend. Anna would visit her friend if she had time. Okay, so here, so in this form here, we are going to review the rule. Okay, so we have if plus subject plus past simple plus subject plus would plus verb. So here we have, as you see here, the words written in color there. So Anna, it means the subject. Had, it's past simple. And would, subject plus would plus verb. She would visit. Okay, so this is for the form here. Okay, so as you know here, when we talk about conditional sentences, we have two clauses. We have the if clause and the main clause. So when we talk about, we could start by any one of them. For example, here if we start by the if clause, we should have comma here. If we start by the main clause, we don't have comma. Okay? So this is the form. Okay, you should keep it in mind. We say if plus subject plus past simple plus subject plus would plus verb. So let's say talk about the use. Okay, when we talk about the use of conditional type 2, we say it refers to an unlikely or hypothetical condition and its probable result. So what does this mean here? So when we talk about conditional type 2, so it's a kind of imagination. It's not real, okay? So it's unreal, okay? So here, if we say, for example, if Anna had time, she would visit her friend, okay? So this condition here is it's hypothetical and it's a sort of imagination. Because the reality here, Anna, okay, does not have time. That's why she, for example, can't visit her friend. So we say here, if A happened, B would happen. So this is the meaning or the use of conditional type 2. Okay, so let's move on to do some practice. So as you see here, the first exercise, we say, complete the sentences using the verbs in brackets. So you have got here a set of situations. We have 8 situations. So what are we going to do here, please? We are going to put the verbs in the right form or tense. Okay, so let's go back here to see again the form. So as we say for the form here, we say if plus subject plus past simple plus subject plus would plus verb. So here, so for the first situation here, we say it's Monday today, but if it be Saturday, I go to the beach, okay? So what would you say here, please? So please, okay, take some time, okay, a few minutes, and do this exercise here. Okay, good. So let's start. If it's Monday today, but if it, so what should you say here? You should say, if it was Saturday, I would go to the beach, okay? Number two, I don't have any money now, but if I have some, I lend it to you. What should we say here? So again here we say, but if I had time, if I had some, I would lend it to you. Do you see here? So because we have if plus simple past. Third one, I have to work tomorrow, but if I, okay, here we have be free, I go shopping with you. So what should you say here? If I was or were free, I would go shopping with you. Fourth one, Amy can't only speak one language, but if she can't speak two languages, she applied for a job at the multicultural center. So what should we say there? If she, okay, we say if she could, and she would apply here. So here we use could because could it's the simple past of can, okay? The fifth one, Jane doesn't know how to knit. If she know how to knit, she make a sweater for you for your birthday, okay? So we should say here, okay, if she knew, she would make. Next one here, I don't own a pair of skis. If I have skis, I go skiing with you tomorrow, okay? We should say here, if I had skis, okay, I would go skiing with you tomorrow. The next one here, I can't understand what he is saying. If he, more clearly, I understand more. So what should we say here? We say, if he spoke more clearly, I would understand more. And the last one here, we are not going to buy that house, but if it, for example, here we say, if it was a little cheaper, we would buy it, okay? So this is for the first exercise here. So let's move on to the next one. So here, for this activity here, we say, there is one mistake in each sentence, underline it and correct it, okay? So the sentences here, they are in conditional type 2, but they have some mistakes, okay, some grammatical mistakes. What are we going to do? Underline the mistake and correct it. Let's do the first one here. I can't go out, believe me, I wouldn't stay at home if I am not ill. So here you should bear in mind the form of conditional type 2. So we say that we have two clauses, either we start by the main clause or the if clause. We say if plus subject plus simple past plus would plus verb. So here we have I wouldn't stay at home if I am not ill. So the mistake is here, okay? We say I'm not. We don't say I'm not because I'm not, it's present. So what should we say? We should say if I was not, okay? So this is the idea here, okay? So try here please, okay, to pause the video and do the other exercises here, okay? The other sentences, okay? So let's start here. 2, if my mom was younger, she studied at university, okay? So can you spot the mistake here and underline it? Yes, good. So this is the mistake here. She studied, okay? Because here we already say if my mom was younger. So there we should say she would study. Third one, I can't afford this car, but I would buy it if I have more money. Okay, so what is the mistake here? It's if I had. So we should say if I had. Fourth one here, I don't speak French. If I'd speak French, I'd live in Provence. So what should we say there? So we have if plus. So here is the mistake again. So we should say if I spoke French. It's not if I spoke, okay? Fifth one, if you aren't my best friend, I wouldn't tolerate your behavior. Okay? So here we say if you aren't, I wouldn't. So here this is the mistake. We should not say if you aren't, but we should say if you weren't. Okay? The sixth one, Paul is unemployed. He would be happier if he found a job. So Paul is unemployed. He would be happier if he found it. So the mistake here, it's for the verb. So the past participle that we should put there, it's found, because the base form, it's find here. So we should say it's irregular verb. The seventh one here, he doesn't want to do the exam, but he could enter university if he would pass it. So the mistake is here. We should say past. It's not would pass, but past, because we already have could there. Okay? Could enter, could, it's like over here. Okay? I don't know his phone number. I will text him if I knew it. So here we have I will. It's not I will, but we should say I would text him. Okay? So this is for conditional type 2. Okay? So try to bear in mind the form that we have already seen before. Okay? So let's move on to the next part here, reported speech. Okay? So before we start with the exercises, let's do a small review here. So study the sentences in the chart below and try to find the differences. So we have got here two sentences. The first one, I play basketball in my free time. John said that he played basketball in his free time. So what's the difference between the two sentences here? So the first one here is talk about, this one it's direct speech and the other one is indirect. Okay? So when we talk about the difference between direct and indirect speech, the first one here we talk about is the quotation marks. You see here? So here in the direct speech we have quotation marks, but there we don't have them. Okay? So the first step here, it's omit the quotation marks from direct to indirect. And the next one here, we talk about that optional. Plus that, or we add that, and it's optional. As you see here, it's between parentheses. Okay? The next step here, it's change the pronoun. If you say here we have I, and there we have he. Okay? Because it's John. And the next one, here we talk about change the verb tense. For example, play, played. Here please, when we talk about conditional, when we talk about reported speech, we always go one step backward. Okay, for example, we are here in present, it becomes here simple past. When we are, for example, in simple past, it becomes past perfect. Okay? And the next one here, we talk about change the time expression. Here, time expression, for example, suppose that here we have, for example, no, it becomes then there. For example, we have next week, the following week, last week, the previous week. Okay? So good. So let's move on here to some practice exercises here. So report the following statements. So we have got here a set of statements. You are going to change them or to report them. So let's start here. The gym is just around the corner. So Mr. Robbins said, so what should we add here? We say, Mr. Robbins said that the gym was just around the corner. So you see here we have is, it becomes was. Simple present becomes simple past. 2. I'm watching a film now. Barbara said. Here, Barbara said that she was watching a film then. Do you see here? So we have I'm watching becomes was watching, and now becomes then. The next one here, Sarah went to the market yesterday. Peter said that Sarah had gone to the market the previous day. So here we have went becomes had gone. Yesterday, the previous day. The fourth one here, girls were listening to music at 9 this morning. He said that girls had been listening to music that morning. Do you see here? We say were listening, had been listening. Okay? This morning, that morning. The fifth one here, they have worked hard. Tom said that they had worked hard. So here, have worked becomes had worked. The sixth one here, I have been preparing my homeworks all this evening. Brenda said that, here, say that she had been preparing her homeworks all that evening. Do you see here? So we say, have been preparing becomes have been preparing, my becomes her, and this evening becomes that evening. The seventh one here, we will enjoy our trip next weekend. We say here, they said that they would enjoy their trip the following weekend. So here we have where becomes would, we have our becomes there, and next weekend becomes the following weekend. Eighth one here, I must work hard this semester. Jane said that she had to work hard that semester. So we say here, had to, that semester. I can't drive a car. Daniel said that he couldn't drive a car. Do you see here? So we have can't becomes couldn't. Okay? So this is for the first exercise here. Let's move on to the next one. So the following statements are reported incorrectly. Find the mistakes and correct them. Okay? So we have got a set of statements. They are reported incorrectly. Okay? So they have some grammatical mistakes. Try to find the mistakes, spot the mistakes, and correct them. Okay? So you take a few minutes here, please, and then you correct the exercise. Okay? So good. So let's start. 1. John works in a bank. Anna said that she worked in a bank. So, what should we say here? What is the mistake? So, the mistake is he, she, okay? So, here we want to talk about, however we have Anna here, we should not say she, but we should say he because it's John. So, we say here, this is the correction here. Anna said that he worked in a bank or that John worked in a bank. 2. We went out last night. She told me that we had gone out last night. Okay? So, where is the mistake here? The mistake is, we have two mistakes here. We have the first one, it's we. We have here we. And the other one is last night. So, she told me that. So, it becomes they. And last night becomes the previous night. Third one, we will come and help you at 12. So they said that they will come and help me at 12. So what is the mistakes here? It's, we have will, it should become would. Will becomes would. The fourth one here, I have never been to Wales. He said that I had never been to Wales. Okay, so what should we say here? He said that I. So the mistake is here, okay, I, it should become he or she, okay, because here we have he, we should have he again there, okay. The fifth one, we are studying English now. He said that they are studying English now, so that we have here two mistakes. The first one is are studying, and now we should say here were studying, and the other one we have them, okay. So you see here, so this is all for reported speech here. Let's move on to the third part in grammar. Here it's phrasal verbs. So before we start with this exercise, I'd like to remind you of the form of phrasal verbs. Okay? So when we talk about phrasal verbs, we have two parts. The first one we have verb plus, for example, to bring up, we say verb plus particle here. Okay? We say to bring up, to get back, to take off. Or we have verb plus particle, okay? So let's do this exercise here. Match the following phrasal verbs with their definition. So you have got here a set of phrasal verbs and their definitions there. So let's start by the first one here. Again, you should take some time here, please. You take a few minutes to do this exercise, and then you see the correction here. So let's start here. To bring up. So what's the definition here of to bring up in the other ones there? Yes? So good. So it's to grow up. We say, for example, here John has grown up in a rich family. Or we say, for example, John has grown up in a rich family. Okay? So to grow up, it means, yes. Next one, to get back. For example, you say to get back home. It means to return home from work. Okay? The next one, to take off. Take off, we say, for example, take off your jacket. It's like saying to remove your clothes. As you see, for example, here, this boy here in this picture is taking off his shoes. Next one, to put on here. To put on, it means to wear your clothes. Okay? So we say, for example, take off, it means to remove. Put on, it's the opposite of to remove. Okay? It means to wear. To lie down. So to lie down, it means to move down to a position in which your body is flat, usually in order to sleep or rest. Okay, look at this picture here. So this is an example of laying down. Okay, so this person here is laying down. Okay, it means to sit. Okay, to move down to a position in which your body is flat. Okay, good. Next one here we have to go up. It means to go up here. It means to move higher. We say, for example, to go upstairs, okay, to move higher, to higher position. And the next one here, to go over. To go over means here to examine or look at something in a careful or detailed way. Say, for example, tomorrow you have an exam. You should go over your lessons. It means to revise and to examine and to look at something careful or detailed. The next one here, to go out, it means to be outside the house. Okay, so for example, you say to go out for a walk, or to go out, for example, to buy something. And the last one here, to take after here, it means to be similar to an older member of your family. Okay, if you see here in this picture, so you have boy and his father, so they are similar. It means they look like, okay, they are similar. Good. So this is for the first exercise in phrasal verb. Let's move on to the next exercise. Fill in the blank with the appropriate adverbial particle from the list. Down, after, on, off, for, in, up, over. Try to put them in the blanks here so that you could have phrasal verbs. So again here, please take a few minutes, do the exercise, and then you see the correction here. Okay? Good, let's start. So you have to take your shoes before entering the mosque. So which particle fits here? Yes, you have to take off. It means to remove your shoes. I must go my lessons this evening because we will have a test tomorrow. What should we say here? Yes, you must go over. It means to examine, to study. Put your jacket if you want to go out. It's very cold outside. Yes, it's very cold. So what should we say? We should put on. It means to wear your jacket. Amina takes, okay, her mother, they both have blue eyes. So takes, what should we say here? It takes after. Okay? Takes after. It means they are similar and they look the same. Next one here, as he was tired, he lay on the sofa for a siesta. Okay, so here we say he lay down. Okay, it means to move to a flat position. Hafsa was late this morning because her car broke on her way to work. So here we're talking about broke down. So the car broke down, it means to stop working. If you don't understand any word, look it in the dictionary, okay? Here we are talking about looking for a meaning of word. We say look it up. It means to look for its meaning. The next one here, please don't forget to fill the form before you sign. So here, for example, we have an application form, okay? Application form. We should say to fill in, okay? It means to complete, okay? Fill in, it means to complete. Okay, good. So that's it for here grammar review. So just to recapitulate, so we have reviewed conditional type 2, reported speech, and phrasal verbs, okay? Good. So let's move on here to the next part, vocabulary and functions. Okay, so let's start here by vocabulary. So as I said before, so in this review here we are dealing with unit 7 and 8, ecology, society and social problems. So these pictures here, they are related to these units here. So the first exercise, look at the pictures and identify the social problems. Okay, so you have got here a set of pictures, as you see. So you are going to identify what social problems do they represent. Okay, so let's start by the first one here. So look at this picture here. So we have got some kids. Okay, what social problem do you think does it represent? Okay, so here we have, so the first one here, so we are talking about poverty. Okay, poverty is a social problem. The next one here we are talking about lack of water. So especially here in many rural areas, people don't have water. Here we are talking about drinkable water. The next one there, it's domestic violence. Here we are talking about domestic violence which takes place at home, either from wife or from husband. Okay. The next one here, when we talk about domestic violence, most of the time it leads to this social problem here, which is divorce. Okay, divorce. Here we're talking about separation, separation between the mother and the father. And the next one here, this is one aspect where it has to do with poverty, especially, for example, in African countries or underdeveloped countries in general. They try to go to the other side. Here we're talking about illegal immigration. And the other one here, the other picture, it represents child labor. Child labor. It is caused by divorce, domestic violence, and poverty. Okay, so for example, in poor families, they don't have food, they don't have what to eat, so they send their children to work. Okay, they impose, for example, work on their children. And the next picture here, it's an aspect of poverty. We call it shanty towns. Okay, shanty towns here means towns or houses which are not well constructed. And the other one here, this is an aspect of, it has to do with poverty. For example, in African countries, it's here hunger. We say hunger or lack of food. Okay, and the last one there, it's, as you see in the picture, unemployment. So it means joblessness. Good. So let's move on to the next exercise here. Fill in the blank with the appropriate word from the box. Okay. So again here, please try to pause the video, do the exercise, and then you see the correction here. Right. So let's start. So I've got here a set of words. Try to put them in the right blank. So we have deforestation. Deforestation means cutting down trees. We have homeless, means without home. Extinction, okay, stop living, okay. Joblessness, so unemployment, illiteracy, okay, and shanty towns. Let's start here. 1. Most of the newly graduated Moroccan university students suffer from, it's hard that they find a job. So what should we put here? So it's hard that they find a job, okay? So we're talking about graduated Moroccan university students. So we're talking about joblessness or unemployment. 2. Fighting is a serious challenge for the Moroccan government. More than 70% of adult people are unable to read or write. So here we're talking about inability to read and write. Okay, so we're talking about illiteracy. Third one, urban expansion is one of the main causes of, so we're talking about urban expansion. It means building more houses. Here we're talking about its deforestation. Yes. The fourth one are houses lacking healthy conditions to live in. So healthy conditions here. So this is a key word. So we're talking about shanty towns. The fifth one, governments should struggle to provide enough shelters to people. So we're talking about shelter. It means a house. Okay. So to homeless people. The sixth one, global warming leads to the of many animals. So we're talking about extinction of many animals.